I'm a very positive thinker, and I think that is what helps me the most in difficult moments. When you do something best in life, you don't really want to give that up, and for me it's tennis. You know, I don't only play for the record books. What I think I've been able to do well over the years is play with pain, play with problems, play in all sorts of conditions. Sometimes you have to accept that a guy played better on the day than you. You always want to win. That is why you play tennis, because you love the sport and try to be the best you can at it. Clearly, when you win everything, it's fun. That doesn't necessarily mean you love the game more. I feel a bit awkward playing in a red shirt out at Wimbledon. But I don't dislike it. I always had the dream that, once I became number one in the world, that if I had a child I hoped I would have it early enough so the child can see me playing. For me, it's important that a fan can buy something that is related to me. Like in soccer, you buy a shirt and it's got somebody's name on the back. That's kind of a cool thing. The serve, I think, is the most difficult, you know, in terms of coordination, because you got the two arms going, and you got to toss it up at the right time. So I think it's very hard for coaches to work with me. They'll no doubt have a good CV afterwards, but at the same time they're under a lot of pressure. I don't need to come back to Wimbledon every year because I can't live without it. I'd be totally cool without tennis. Obviously, matches and all that stuff takes its toll on your body and so forth. But as you get sort of a bit older, a bit wiser, and a bit more experienced, you know also how to handle it. I am a sucker for those old traditional places, and Rome is as good as it gets, particularly when you throw in Italian food. When I think of the Olympics I only think of good things. I think of what a great event it is and what it has done for me and my career, and changed my personal life, too. I am extremely proud and honored to have beaten Pete's record as he was my childhood hero and I have always looked up to him. I'm as patient a father as I am on the tennis court. It takes a lot for me to get really upset, but sometimes kids can get you really cross if they really keep bugging you. Having twin girls is a life changer, that's for sure. But I like getting up and changing diapers. It's the things you do. I've always been aware that the image you patiently construct for an entire career can be ruined in a minute. It scares you a bit, but that's the way things are. I have to fit holidays around tournaments, particularly the Grand Slams, in Melbourne, Paris, London and New York. I did all the right things in so many tournaments. But like I said, sometimes in sports it just goes the other way. Maybe you've already won so much that it evens it out a bit sometimes. I don't know. My heart is in South Africa, through my mum. My mum being from here, me spending a lot of time here as well, I feel most connected to this part of the world. My favorite shot is always gonna be the forehand. It used to always be my favorite shot when I was young, so it's the one I've won all the points with. The serve, I think, is the most difficult, you know, in terms of coordination, because you got the two arms going, and you got to toss it up at the right time. So. But so far I have the feeling that the chances are there to repeat last year's season. We can't always agree on everything. Oh, my God. I don't think any player can look forward to or expect to a career of so many Grand Slam wins or title wins or being so long at the top of the game. I have learned to be even more patient. I did all the right things in so many tournaments. But like I said, sometimes in sports, it just goes the other way. Maybe they already won so much that it evens it out a bit sometimes. I don't know. Sometimes I am a different character in different languages. I have different enjoyment from them. My dad said if you become a tennis professional, just make sure you get into the top 100. Because you have to make a little bit of money. You make a living so you can pay your coaching and, your travels. To handle that stardom, the red carpets, the photo shoots, people all of a sudden recognizing you and following you in everyday life, it's a bit weird. It's strange, and it can have funny effects on you in terms of do you like it or don't you like it. Some people run away from it. Some people embrace it. I found a good middle ground.